Hello, welcome along to the Burnt CD, a brand new music and storytelling podcast where each episode we're joined by a very special guest who'll be telling us the story of their lives using 5 tracks. They'll be using our Burnt acronym to build their tracklist blueprint, underrated, raw, night out and timeless, building their Burnt CD. Today we are so excited to be joined by Seb Lowe, who is halfway through his very own headline tour. We're in Sheffield, so let's see if he's around. Seb, welcome along to the Burnt CD. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're a couple of dates into your headline tour, and it feels like you're always on tour. How have the last few days been?
Awesome. Honestly, some of as a band, our sort of collective favourite days on tour we've ever had, really. It's been so sort of relaxed, and I feel like we've actually been able to enjoy like the days and everything around the tour. Obviously the gigs have been amazing, and everyone's been, absolutely brilliant who's come down to the shows, but like it's been really nice to explore all of these places that we've never been to, and we've been doing it quite a while now, so I think we're like just a bit more relaxed. Yeah,
amazing. And you're a creative force, but for people that don't know who you are, just give us a bit of spiel. What do you do? What do you write about? Where are you going?
Well, my name is Seb Lowe. I am one of 3 as a sort of band that we operate. I write songs, a lot of them, about lots of different things. Generally, shit that's going on in the world. Often quite, horrible, tragic shit and disappointing stuff, and stuff that makes you angry. And yeah, like I say, been doing that for quite a while now. Yeah, about 4 years.
Well, I had the pleasure of seeing you 4 years ago, nearly to the day, at Basque in Stockport. That was the first time I came across you. And now, like we mentioned, you're headlining these amazing venues. Just give us sort of an overview of what the last 4 years progression has looked like.
A bit of a slow crawl, really, but like a steady, consistent one. And not a lot, not loads has changed, I suppose. I mean, it's constantly growing. But the message and what we're about, and the audience, most of the faces you see at the very front row are like people that you've been seeing for years, and it's had its ups and its downs, but it's been a nice sort of slow crawl, which it continues to be so, but each year is more exciting than the last. Yeah, it
must be really nice to build up the relationships with the people that keep coming as well, and like you say, those familiar faces.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, this tour, like we've already seen just so many people that we've seen at so many other gigs, and it's always like a very welcoming sight when you get onto a stage and you might have spent 30 minutes in some like nervous hell, and then you come out and you see people that that's always really nice. Yeah,
it feels like you never stop. It feels like there's always music coming out. You're always doing gigs. You're either in sports slots, headline tours. What's sort of the structure behind your music style? Because a lot of people sort of spend a couple of years writing an album, drop an album. I don't feel like you ever take a breath.
Yeah, no, it is a bit like that. And to be fair, I'd say about 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. Up until about 2 years ago, that was sort of our method. Less albums. We're yet to actually do an album, but we do like EPs and have these long sort of often like 6 months gaps in between music. And then about a year and a half ago, we had the idea of just releasing singles all year and seeing what happens. Just release a single every month, and it worked quite well for us because, I tend to write about what is happening here and now, and so it's good because often like a new month will come around, you've just released a song, and then it's like, oh shit, what do we do now? Let's gonna have to write a song, and then we're gonna have to record it and then release it all in the space of a month. And it keeps it fresh, and at the moment we're in a bit of a stasis of doing that. Who knows when that's going to end? Because we probably do need to do an album at some point. But yeah.
But I guess that's the thing. You do social commentary you can dance to.
Yeah.
But the state of the world is changing sort of every day, quite consistently.
Yeah.
And quite dramatically.
Oh,
I guess
I
there's
know.
always fresh content to write about.
Well, and it's impossible to predict that, and I think if we did sort of spend a year putting together an album and then releasing it, by the time the year came round, I think there would be so many things that I'd feel like I'd have to write about, and it would make the album feel like a bit of a waste almost. I'd be like immediately wanting to do the next thing, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, speaking of albums, we're building yours today. We're building your burnt CD. You've picked us 5 tracks, 5 themed tracks.
Yes.
And the first one is your blueprint track,
Yes.
which is a track that is either relevant to you as a child or growing up or at the start of your career. You've gone for Rock and Roll Suicide. The first question is it Bowie or Bowie?
Bowie to me, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. Sitting on the
Bowie
it's quite
for me.
divisive, isn't it?
It is
in
quite
a divisive world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Bowie. Didn't he say that it's Bowie?
We'll find a reference.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but I've always said Bowie. But yeah, Rock and Roll Suicide, absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about this track.
I first heard it on a road trip, courtesy of my mum, who's a massive Bowie fan, and she'd been trying to convince me that Bowie is worth listening to. And the shit thing is I think this was after he died. So I never really understood Bowie at the point at which he died, and that was 2016. So I'd have been
quick maths.
12. I'd have been 12. So I didn't really get it, and then my mum was constantly trying to convince me. She said, "All right, okay, this is the one that I think you might get." And we were on a road trip. We must have been listening to tons of Bowie. And it was Rock and Roll Suicide, and it genuinely just blew my fucking mind. There are not many songs that I can pinpoint where it kind of songs that kind of gave you a greater understanding of what music could do and just the power of music. And the build in that tune, and then up until the point that he sort of says you're not alone, and just the power of it. Was a bit of a revelation, really. Yeah.
I mean, he sort of has that ability to make sad things sparkle in a way, doesn't he? And that sort of dramatic element of it really works. Is it something you integrate into your writing, that performance aspect of it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I always find it hard when people are like, who are your influences? Because I feel like you're influenced by everything, aren't you? Without realising most of the time. But I feel like there are instances where you can, I can trace certain things that I do on stage and the drama and theatre of certain songs back to some Bowie stuff, especially the sort of Ziggy Stardust era. Yeah.
And if you had to paint a picture of sort of 12-year-old Seb who was finding that track for the first time, what would we be seeing? What were you into? Were you the cool kid? Were you sort of into the niche stuff?
Quite confused, I think, at that age, like everyone is. It's a horrible, difficult age to be, I think, those sort of early teens. Torn between trying to fit in, but then also I was a big sort of theatre kid, and that wasn't exactly cool in the school that I went to. So, difficult age, I think. But,
Is that love of theatre something that's carried on?
100%, yeah, massively.
Are we talking musicals, plays, anything?
All of that, yeah, musicals and plays. Shout out to Oldham Theatre Workshop, that was my local theatre, still going and still full of amazing people. It's something I really want to get back into at some point too, but who knows.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about this song was, obviously it's quite a heavy title. Do you think, especially with your own writing, that titles have the power to sort of attract and sort of turn people off of songs? Is it something you consider when you're writing?
Occasionally. I do find titles really difficult. I don't think anyone really knows the answer to song titles. I don't think there is one. Do you just slap the word that gets repeated the most in the song, or do you go for something else? I really like Ode to Britannia. I think that's probably one of the better song titles we've ever come out with. But yeah, no, who knows?
I mean, you're not short on good song titles.
Yeah, well, yeah, some random ones and some less random ones. Yeah.
One of the things I want to ask you, we had the pleasure very briefly of interviewing you a couple of years ago on our student radio station. And at the time you were just about to head out on tour and you had a plushy bee with you called Bee-yonce.
Oh, yes.
Is Bee-yonce with us today?
Yeah, he is. He.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why not? In the van, behind a seat.
Oh, poor guy.
Kate's a real fan.
Yeah.
I find that he sort of gets in the way.
Oh, really?
Quite a big bee.
Is that why he's
Teddy.
being neglected? He's not even allowed in the venues.
Yeah, and there's another one.
There's another one?
Two, and there's like a dragon somewhere.
Do they all have equally good imaginative names?
Bazza Jeff is the other bee. And they are identical. They're the same thing.
Right. Were they purchased at the same time?
Yes. No. We went back to the same service station and decided to get another.
Solely to get the other bee?
Yeah. And they do look different, very slightly. But it's hard to tell to the untrained eye.
And Kate's sort of the one that cares for them rather than being mutually...
We all care for them, but no, they get in the way.
Okay, fair enough. I'm glad we covered that. That was the one thing that I wanted to make sure.
Good thing to clear up.
I've been wondering for the last 4 years. I wonder how Beyonce's doing. Right, your underrated track is Starless by King Crimson.
Ah, yeah.
Tell us where this song came into your life.
On tour. Oh, no, that's a lie.
Oh.
Yeah, not on tour. My uncle introduced it to me. My Uncle Tim. At a Christmas one year. So I have sort of split Christmases. I have one at my mum's, one at my dad's. And every Christmas at my dad's always ends up in a very sort of late, like whiskey and tunes sort of thing. And we'll spend lots of time playing each other music. And this year, a few years ago, my Uncle Tim played Starless by King Crimson. I'd listened to a bit of King Crimson, like 21st Century Schizoid Man and Epitaph, really good tunes. But then he played me Starless, and he played me the live version from Mexico, which is, quite specific about that because it was just incredible. Another one of those like not being able to believe what music can do. Obviously, King Crimson are quite a sort of big band, but not necessarily in the mainstream, and definitely not with people of our generation. And Starless isn't one of their biggest tunes, so yeah, I guess it's a bit underrated. And then proceeded to play it in the van on tour, so hence why I said on tour, and we listen to it quite regularly. It's just wicked. Yeah.
I think one of the things we need to touch on with it is the duration of it. It's over 12 minutes.
Big long tune. Yeah.
Do you think that's sort of a deterrent to some people?
It might contribute to the underratedness.
I think especially in the sort of post-literate digital age where attention spans have never been shorter.
Yeah. It's one of those tunes that whenever you play it to anyone, you've kind of got to like say, just wait until 8 minutes in, it gets really good.
It is a very gradual build.
You've got to really like sit someone down and persuade them to
force them sort of against their will.
Wait for the good bit, yeah.
It'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about holding things back when you write, or is it always let's get into it as soon as we can?
It is often but yeah, sometimes unfortunately it's get into it soon as, because just the nature of songs and writing songs and especially when it all kicked off on TikTok in the first place, and it was like you can only do minute-long videos, so you really had to get all the information in as quickly as possible, and that's kind of carried forward. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that sort of the TikTok influence, because obviously you're an incredible writer and your back catalogue of songs are, incredible, but where does TikTok come into that and sort of the success that you've had? Yeah,
I mean, it's weird because like I say, I sort of like learned to write songs on TikTok for TikTok. I'd written a few tunes, but once TikTok started like rolling, I wrote a lot more. I was writing just as much as possible, and it was quite short, sharp, fiery songs. And then when they extended the video length to like 3 minutes, and then 10 minutes, whatever it is now. I very slowly sort of tried to, diversify that a bit and write some slower builds and X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
King Crimson could get 10/12 of the way through a song on TikTok.
yeah. They'd get like they wouldn't they wouldn't do. I don't know. Maybe they would do really well in the modern TikTok era. Who knows?
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah.
You have a plethora of talents because you're not just a talented songwriter. You also do all the artwork for your EPs and singles, right? And then on TikTok, acting obviously comes into that as well. Was music always sort of the direction that you knew you wanted to go in, or was it just something creative in the arts?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely something creative in the arts. Yeah. Music was a bit of a coincidence, really. I never did music in school. I did art and drama. It was sort of painting and acting, and I've always sang. I've always been into singing, but it took me a while to get good enough at an instrument to want to write songs, and then COVID hit, and then I just with sort of nothing else to do and a lot of thoughts going on, started writing songs, and then coincidentally, I suppose, it did all right, and then carried on. Yeah.
It's done more than all right.
Yeah.
With that musical pursuing that, then when did that sort of begin, the learning instruments and that side of it?
Funny, I was on a chat about this the other day, but how some people like an instrument comes quite naturally, and I never really found that. It took me a long time to get a handle on guitar. A combination of procrastination and just like clumsy hands, but like I first picked up a guitar when I was like 11,
right.
And then I gave up after 6 months. Then it wasn't until then I slowly tried to learn guitar, and then when I was about 16, maybe I was like all right enough to play.
Was it all self-taught? Was it through sort of tutorials, or did you have lessons?
My dad knew a bit and taught me a bit, and then it was pretty much all self-taught from there. Yeah. So I know a very kind of like fucked up means of playing guitar that's by no means perfect.
I think sometimes that's the best way. Tim Minchin, who I think is one of the most incredible piano players in the world, is all self-taught and sort of acclaims that to learn himself. So back to your underrated track, and more looking at your back catalogue, do you have any tracks that you think are underrated of yours that deserve more recognition?
I don't know. That's a good question. Make Me Our National Anthem. Yeah. I've always thought that was quite cool, but it's a fair bit different to a lot of the other stuff we do, and it's one of those songs that like sometimes I'll play to maybe someone who's not that into the other stuff that I've done, and they might be into that one. So
it has an element of spoken word on top of just the music, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, I like that tune. I'll maybe say Make Me a National Anthem. Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. Check that one out. Is that where your writing starts, as sort of poetry that then is accompanied by music, or is it vice versa? It
definitely used to be absolutely poetry to music. Now it's a bit of a mixture. The best sort of tunes though are like a sort of combination where it all just comes at once and you just can't wait to write it, and it gets written very, very quickly, and you've got to like go over it and make sure that it makes sense. But the best ones are generally like just like the whole thing was there from the outset. Yeah.
And Kate, who's part of your band, is obviously supporting you on this tour as well. Double set.
Yeah, she is.
She's just exhausted at the end of each night.
Oh yeah.
How much do you feed into each other's writing process?
Not loads. No, we kind of we both sort of let each other do our own thing. Obviously, like I'm very inspired by her, and I can't speak for her, but I'm very inspired by the stuff that she does, and I always hear it. But as far as like writing together, it's not something we've tried all that much. We did Mr. and Mrs. Human Race some time ago, but we haven't actually written together since then. But you know, we may give it a go. I think at the moment it's like we're both sort of figuring out our sounds and our writing styles and leaving each other to it to an extent.
Yeah, it must be nice to have that space to
Definitely
share a stage, but also be able to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Your raw track. So your raw track is a track that provokes some sort of emotion, happy, sad, angry, whatever you want. You've picked Hurricane by Bob Dylan.
Yes. Yeah.
Why have you picked this track?
It's just a banger. Another one of those songs. I think it's another one of those songs that kind of like elevates your idea of what music can do. And it was when we were getting quite a bit lost as well in like 2022 with what we wanted to sound like and this, that and the other. It was often a track that we'd sort of go back to just for like the simplicity of it and the way that the violin and the acoustic guitar all relate to each other, and it's got some of the most like awesome violin parts, and it's really stripped back, hence the raw track. Just a great song and a great story that it tells as well. That's like really powerful.
That's the thing. It's a novel. It's not really a song, is
yeah,
it? And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
another a long 8 minute.
Another long one.
When we were looking through the tracks you've selected, we made a playlist that we could sort of get the songs in our head quite well. For the middle two, we were there a while. But it's very angry. It's very sort of morally charged and confrontational.
Yeah.
You can obviously be very direct in your songwriting, and I notice sometimes you get comments that don't understand the irony sometimes and take it very literally.
Yeah.
Is that something that you worry about ever when you're writing things?
It's not something that ever like impacts my writing really, because it's not really something you can control so much as like if on the day that you're writing a song you're in a sort of like sarcastic mood, that's just gonna happen, I suppose. Sometimes people misunderstand it, but you know, it's like generally like a really small voice in a sea of people who do get it and are into it. So yeah.
And as ever, the internet's very quick to correct people that interpret.
Yeah.
Do you think in the sort of modern era it's harder or easier to be more direct in your songwriting? Because I guess there's an audience that are going to criticise either side, but then equally you have more freedom to do what you want to do.
I think direction and like really direct lyricism has become quite common and popular recently, as it might not have been like I mean, I wasn't around, but like as from what I've heard, it isn't as much from 40 years ago and onwards. But why that is a bit of a mystery. Who knows really why that might be, but that's just feels like that sort of happened. Yeah.
It's not something you shy away from, and it's something people clearly respond to.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about is, having been to a couple of your shows, is the demographic of people that you get turning up. Because you do have people sort of our age that would have come across you online, but you also have people like our parents' age that really are inspired by the sort of politicism of your writing. Is it quite refreshing to see such a broad range of people coming?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's really nice when, if someone's like brought their parent along and they've gone and they sort of say something about how into it they are, and how they might have thought that music was sort of going downhill, and they feel good that they've like been exposed to something that they like, or I think there's a lot in the songs for different generations, and even like the instrumentation, and we take a lot of influence from songs from all decades. Yeah.
My parents both big fans. My dad got the yellow Seb Lowe t-shirt a couple of years ago, and I think it's his most worn item. Whenever I go home and visit, he's always in it.
Right, yeah.
And I think, when clothes sort of grow their own legs because they've not been washed in a while, I think he's sort of at that stage
the
with
yellow,
the yellow
half
one.
decent t-shirt.
Yeah, and you can't miss him in a crowd.
No,
in it,
no,
so,
it's a classic, and you do see it every now and again, that yellow t-shirt. We've never done anything else like it, and then occasionally you just spot it out in the crowd. Yeah.
Are you sort of behind the designs of your merch, or is there a whole team that take that on?
It's a very sort of collaborative process. We've got last tour, Freya, who has done a lot of photos for us, and various bits of content. Also does some graphic design, and she did a lot of the work on the t-shirts and the banner, which you'll see if you come to our shows. This time round, we've got the same banner, but I hand drew some stuff to put on the merch, and in collaboration with the company that does it as well. It's a lot of thoughts and brains going into it. Yeah.
Well, that's the best way.
Yeah.
And lots of people will be coming for a night out. Speaking of which, your night out track. You've picked "You Give Love a Bad Name" by Bon Jovi, which of course goes without saying,
banger.
Absolute banger.
Yeah.
Just tell me a bit about why you picked this song, and also if you're thinking about a night out and this track, is it the start of the night out? Is it midway through? Is it like pre-drinks? Is it when you're dancing? Is it when you're getting home and just need something to sort of calm you down? Where is it featuring?
That's a good question. Definitely not when you need something to calm you down. Sleep time. No.
A little acoustic version.
We got quite into like hair rock, but for I would say like 2024 maybe, where we were just listening to hair rock all the time after gigs in the van, and before gigs. It was just like constantly, and that's why we did Love Bomb. I think that was like half inspired by that.
Yeah.
And we for a bit we had Anywhere You Want It by Journey playing when we walked off the stage. I think it's like it hits that sort of sweet spot when I don't know, you might have had a few drinks, but the night's either going, it's a quiet one, or it's going to be really fun, and it's generally the kind of tune at the point at which, okay, this is going to be really fun.
It's a make or break one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. When that intro kicks in, it's straight in. What's happening in your brain when you hear it?
That scene from the Vampire Diaries when they play it. That's what I think of.
Well, so, I don't think that would be many people's answers, but it's a good answer nonetheless.
Shout out to the Vampire Diaries and that scene that's later on in the show.
Did you watch the spin-offs?
I've seen a bit of the originals, but sort of got lost I couldn't get into it.
No.
But it's that bit where all the dead people could come back to life. The spoilers are coming in now. And anyway,
I don't think anyone's finding the Vampire Diaries.
The episode opens up with Anywhere You Want It.
Yeah, arguably not a good night out for those guys.
No,
but,
yeah.
Do you think that people overthink good music? If I asked you what a good tune was, would you have an answer straight away, or would you be thinking of all the elements?
I don't even know. I think it's just like impossible to explain or know or like understand what a good song is. I think if it was possible to know what good music was,
you'd be right.
Then yeah, exactly. Like
This track is obviously quite a popular karaoke track. If I put you on the spot, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my God. I think I could smash out like the opening tune from Hamilton.
Wow,
word
lots
for
of words.
Yeah,
I think
I could smash that word.
Are you doing all parts? Are you doing Burr's part?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think I could smash that out.
Is that a cover we can integrate into your set at some point?
Funnily enough, I think we might have considered it at one point. Or like if you're with a group, One Day More, Les Mis, which was gonna be the name for One Day to Live, but you know, Les Mis got there first, so
bastards.
It's a great song, and if there's a lot of it, it's fun. Yeah.
I like it. Have you ever considered putting covers into your sort of modern day set?
Well, we used to do Rolling in the Deep, Adele, for a bit. And then we used to finish with like a little bit of Take Me Out by Franz Ferdinand.
Nice.
It was pretty fun.
Adele to Franz is
but not in a good while. Definitely something that we should do at some point.
Maybe you should just do a musicals night.
Just
do
just
One Day
stick
More.
in a musical number.
Yeah. But I think you'd have to have the costumes as well.
Yeah.
You'd have to go full.
Go full. Yeah, full dress.
Get the waistcoats for the full trench coats for the Hamilton and I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Your final track is your timeless track. A track that's quite self-explanatory, but a track that stands the test of time. Will live long in the hearts of many. Come for Respect by Aretha.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes without saying it's a track that everyone knows. But why have you picked it?
Well, I mean, that is just like the epitome of timeless. It could have, you put that out today, and it's like doing numbers, as they say. But it's just a fucking great song, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun. It's so fun, and the epitome of a good pop song, I suppose, in any decade. Amazing song.
If you had to write a song, we put you right on the spot. That there was like Respect that has a bit of spelling in.
Yes.
You're supporting Pulp over the summer. They've got a few spelling songs as well.
They do, have spelling songs.
What are we going to spell out? What's the next Seb Lowe spelling track going to be? We can workshop it. Doesn't have to be perfect first
probably
time.
Bee-yonce with 2 E's.
With 2 E's.
Yeah. B-E. So you get sued for that.
No, as long as you include the second E.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
It's fine. It's just a girl's name, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Bazza Jeff. Is Bazza Jeff? Yeah.
Yeah, Bazza Jeff, yeah.
B-A.
Just the whole sort of family.
Yeah.
Get them all in. I don't know the name of the dragon.
Get back to the service station. Grab a couple more for like the background.
Yeah.
We're good to go. Can we talk about the Pulp gig in summer? You're supporting them at Wythenshawe Park in August, which is mega.
It is.
Tell me about the moment you got that phone call.
Well, it was. I mean, it was absolutely crazy because we'd been like waiting for months to find out whether it was happening, and we just assumed that it wasn't. Because the amount of times doing this that like you'll get told, oh, there's a thin chance you're fucking doing a show on Mars, but and then it never happens. And then my manager just said was like, oh, I think we might have got this Pulp gig, and it's always a might, which is always like even then less exciting. But might is better than we're trying. So
on the spectrum, it's closer to it's happening.
So that's what I told my mum and dad. I said, guess what? We might be supporting Pulp.
And were they equally excited?
Yeah. I'll tell you as soon as I know for absolute certain. Then I knew for absolute certain, and at that point, that's just a bit less exciting because we've already done the might thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, still absolutely buzzing for it.
And
it's
how
gonna
long,
be wicked.
From finding out to it being announced, how long do you have to keep that a secret?
That really depends. Sometimes an unbearably long amount of time. But this time, I don't think it was that long. I think it might have been a week or two. And I've got to be very firm with my parents to not.
Yeah, that must be hard as proud parents.
Yeah,
guess what he's doing now.
Yeah.
Especially with someone like Pulp that would have been their generation.
Oh,
sort of mega band. You've also supporting Sophia Rosella in a couple of months, which will be very exciting as well. Yeah, you must have supported some incredible people over the last couple of years. Are there any slots that stand out, sort of amongst the rest?
I mean, Paul Weller was huge.
That's not a bad name to drop in, is it?
Yeah, and just like such an incredible person to meet. which is something I always forget when it's like we're supporting someone. Oh my God, we'll get to sort of meet these people, and he was just like lovely. Always loved supporting Blossoms, and we've done that a few times. Inhaler, and really sort of welcoming crowds at Inhaler shows.
So you've got those coming up. What else is coming up? What's next for?
Hopefully more songs, more gigs, more tours. You know, we're not going to stop. Hopefully an album at some point. But when that will be, who knows? Yeah.
Very exciting. The final thing I want to ask you about your Timeless track is, can songs like Respect and there's so many of the classics out there be interwoven into sort of cultural moments rather than just songs?
Yeah. I think they probably almost definitely help to shape culture and history and go sort of beyond that. With every sort of massive tune like that, I'm sure there is a chain of reasoning to link it to any song that's released today, I suppose. 100%.
Amazing. Right, as a thank you for coming on, we have a graphic designer as part of our team who has made your very own burnt CD into a fully-fledged physical CD.
I didn't know about that.
Inspiration from
That's
your
sick.
previous work, and it features your
show
5
the
tracks.
camera.
Feel
What's the
free.
best camera to show? This one.
So it features all the 5 tracks. Don't feel like you have to listen to it all at once.
That is
That might be quite a roller coaster of 8 minute, 12-minute tunes.
Yeah. How long can 5 songs be?
Yeah, and she's written us
That
a
is
nice
amazing.
breakdown of each meaningful piece of art.
Oh,
on
that's
there.
so cool. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll see you with Pulp in the summer.
Awesome.